Special guests. There's always going to be a little bit of a delay, so
Oh,
keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Special guests will have your special guest flyer up. You notice that all of the audio that we're saying is bouncing on the screen, so that's reading in here.
Uh-huh.
Mic one, two, three. Right.
do I
It's
have to wear
already
the
preset.
headphones?
You don't have to wear
Okay.
headphones. If you don't want to wear them though, just don't have them by the mic so that they're not picking up. So
Okay,
just like
Okay.
put them down low. You know what I mean? Headphones are good, at least here and there, so you can hear yourself. But you hear how we
Yeah.
sound right
Yeah.
now. All right. Main camera, like I said, is the positioning camera. This is gonna where we're gonna be on our overall view. These are condenser mics, so you don't have to have them shoved in your mouth. Like you
Like
just this
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 guy.
this this area is right here. You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
about interacting with the people or whatever. You know. Um,
But we would
Have
press
the
that
main
and then go
camera.
back to main
right. So
camera.
right
Okay.
now, tell us about you. That's a question that you're asking, and as he's starting to answer or do whatever, you just hit main camera, and it goes back to the full camera.
Sounds good.
I like this.
Same thing as parents.
This is
As
about to be
parents, what should you do? You know.
Yeah.
But you can literally go all the way through. I just made up some basic stuff for now. Being that I only have one graphic, it's not a whole lot to
Yeah.
work with just yet. But we'll get better.
Yeah.
We'll play with it.
Okay.
But my goal is always at least make it look as clean as
Hello, everybody. Welcome to
Aspire Podcast. Hi, neighbors. We're back. Happy New Year.
Neighbor,
This is our
neighbors.
first time back, right?
Yeah, officially, like with a live recording
Mhm.
and guests and people.
Right.
And we're outside.
A new
yeah.
venue.
A new venue. Welcome. we're being professionals
Right.
now. Welcome.
We came to 2024 as professionals.
She did. I'm just here for the show, right? We have a special guest. We have a special guest.
Yes.
Okay, tell us about you, sir.
Okay. So, my business is credit repair.
What's your name?
My name is Michael. I'm sorry. Let's start there.
He's like, let me tell you about
He's
my
like,
business.
my business is.
We just jump right into it. I'm ready to talk credit.
He doesn't
So,
even care.
my name is Michael. I've been in the credit repair space for about 13 years now. So we do everything from rebuilding personal credit to helping consumers start their business profile, building business credit, funding, you name it, we do it. So we want to get all that information out. We got a bunch of free information we want to just pour. All your listeners will be able to fix their own credit if they want.
Yeah.
You know,
We
that's
all
the
need
plan.
that.
I definitely need that.
Right.
You want to get back? We go. Let's get in here. This is our first little topic. As parents, what do you set your kid, or how do you set your kids up for financial success?
Okay, that's a good question. All right, so as a parent, we can start building our children's credit as early as 12 in some cases, 13 in others. So you can add people to your active accounts and build their credit without them doing anything. You just add them to the account as an authorized user.
I did that to Chico.
Yeah.
I didn't know that like I was like I feel like he should be building credit.
That's
so
the perfect
explain
way.
more because I don't know. Like,
Okay,
you know.
so
Yeah. Oh, sorry. honey.
So any credit card has a number of authorized users that you can add. An authorized user is just somebody that has access to a card. They don't make payments. They don't make payments. All they do is receive the benefits of being an authorized user. So the older the account, the amount that the credit line is established at, all of these things are like beneficial. So the older or the sooner you add them as an adolescent, the better the credit. You know, if you add them on at 12, 13, by 17, they'll have a credit score. They'll be able to go out, get their own whatever they want without having a cosigner.
Kicking my son out. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just like, wait, he got credit. Let's go. No kidding.
That's a good start, though. I mean,
What else are tips besides the authorized user? Is there anything you would suggest?
I mean, for children, you want to, set them off with how to budget. I mean, that's where you start at. If they don't know how to budget, they're not working, like they can't make payments. So that's very important that they know, don't go into debt early. That's very important. As early as 17, when they're in college, they get credit card applications and they'll get approved. Most people started that way and they mess their credit up.
Me. Me.
That's how it starts.
I was the opposite of that, where I was like, no credit cards. I saw my parents. I saw them. And I didn't. Like, I think I got my first credit card, if you want me to be honest, like 6-7 years ago.
Really?
As a grown-ass
Man.
30-something.
I
My
could-
first credit card.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was terrified. And I never had terrible credit. But, like, I definitely needed more.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like, man, I need more credit. Like, I
Yeah.
bought my first home around that time. But it was because of that. They're like, oh, it's not that you have bad credit. But where's your credit history?
Right.
Like, you're grown. Where's your credit history?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize how important it was, like, to have, I have my car. I've always had things like that. But when you really want to go and buy a major purchase, I'm like, they're like, no, honey, like,
Yeah.
you make great money. Good for you. You make this. Good for you. But where's your credit history?
Right.
Yeah, I learned the hard way, for sure.
What about
Right.
parents who don't know that? 12, 13-year-old, you can put them on your card. So now you have a 20-year-old. Well, advice would you tell parents to give them?
Grown.
Like, yeah, like, well, kids still ask, well, Mom, what if they be like, I want to go get a secure credit card? Like, would you say, yeah, do that, or what kind of advice would you
Good
give
question.
them?
Even if they're not a child, you can still add them as an authorized user. So it doesn't matter.
So you can still, okay. That's still
That's
another
the
way.
fastest way for, to establish a credit profile for a minor. Add them as an authorized user. Or somebody that, like I said, doesn't have to be a minor.
Right.
Authorized user is good for
This may
anybody.
sound dumb because I truly just don't know. When you add them as an authorized user, so let's say I have a card for now 10 years, does that history kind of go on his?
All of it.
Okay.
The higher the credit limit and the longer the account has been established, the better it'll do for the credit.
I didn't know that. Girl.
Now, listen, if y'all parents have bad payment history, don't be adding y'all kids.
Exactly.
Please don't add your
Exactly.
kid if their score is
Do
a
not.
negative.
Right.
I saw. I have to joke about this, but I saw some video. I guess it was a TikTok. I don't know where it was. Someone showed it to me, and their credit score was like a 5. I didn't know
The number
No.
5?
It doesn't go that low.
but they showed the web. They showed
Oh,
the
man.
website. They definitely showed the website,
That's
and I
not
was
right.
A
like,
negative 20.
and it was like the son, like, Dad, how'd your credit score this low? Like, I don't want to be associated with you, so I get that.
Right,
Oh,
please don't put
wow.
me on your card if it's a 5.
Oh, fuck.
Don't do it.
Like, how is that possible?
Oh, God.
How, let's go to the next one. Okay, let's see. I can read this. I can read this.
You
Now.
can. Go ahead. Let me see.
What is one of the most misleading pieces of information about credit and credit repair?
Good job.
Okay.
I'm
passed
a
the
big girl
FCAT.
now.
So, misleading. Everybody doesn't need credit repair. Let's start there. Most people won't tell you that. Most people that own credit repair companies, they don't tell you that. If you want to repair your own credit, you can. It's not that hard. It's just, it takes consistency, patience, and due diligence. You can get there. Most people need education. Like, they need guidance. They need someone to look at their credit report and say, hey, that's not right. And, give them the steps to get it corrected. So
I hear that. I hear people say, well, maybe just start by like writing letters to creditors and disputing and just go in there and dispute everything. But if you don't know what you're doing, it's kind of like overwhelming.
it is. It is. So the credit report is there's a slew of information there. So you have names, account numbers, the date you open the account, the balances on the account. All the information is supposed to be accurate. So most people don't know when you're repairing credit, it's steps you take, right? So when you send a dispute letter to Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, what they do is they verify the information with a smaller credit bureau, right? So the idea is you have to place blocks on all of the other consumer reporting agencies that track information. LexisNexis is the biggest conglomerate that just they have everything on us, everything from all of your insurance companies you ever applied for, every job you ever had, like you name it, it's on there. Your cell phone numbers, like everything's on there. That is the report.
LexisNexis don't come for me. Bro. I'm just kidding.
No, they're simply a data housing, So the FBI uses them for background checks. That's the information. That's the
Actually
report
used
that
to
they
use them
pull.
in a job. Yeah. They know everything.
That's the most, complete report. So back to the point, what you want to do if you're attempting to repair your own credit is, one, you have to block all the consumer reporting agencies. LexisNexis, there's SageStream, ARS, CoreLogic. Those are the main ones. So when you send a dispute letter to the main 3 credit bureaus, they verify the information with the smaller bureaus.
Interesting.
The law says they're supposed to verify the information with, they just have to verify it. So it's either through that source or through the actual creditor that's reporting it. Either going straight to Capital One or they'll go to a smaller consumer reporting agency. These smaller agencies that I'm talking about, they have all the information on you. So when you're blocking access to your file, they're not able to go in there and see. They're matching data points. All right. So if they pull my file, they're looking for my name in various forms: Michael D. Harris, Michael Harris. If I use my full middle name, they'll put that in there. So what you want to do is block the account and then update your information. So you have to remove all your previous addresses, previous phone numbers, previous employers, all the information you want gone. When you look at your report, say you're looking at all 3 credit reports side by side. That's the only way to repair them, right? Because all of them are different. So when you look at the reports, you'll notice that you have multiple name variations. You have sometimes different date of births. You'll have your previous employers, your previous address. Those are all data points. So that's what they're trying to verify when you dispute an account. When you block the file and then update that personal information, they're not able to do that. That's the first step.
When you said,
Before you send any letters, that's the first thing you do.
why would that be so different? Why would they have a wrong date of birth? Why is that so inaccurate across the board?
When you fill out an application or somebody fills out an application, if it's close to yours, that data may, they may
Jump
pull
on.
your report.
So it's a lot of sometimes misinformation.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Happens all the time. Because there's all this information is common. Names are common, addresses are common, so they're linking everything. They're looking for multiple ways to say, that's you. That's your old address.
That was you 20 years ago when you were 5 and you don't, because I've had issues back in the day where people, I was associated to this one account. I couldn't have. I wasn't even barely born, things like that. So that's why I'm just so people know they can fight those things that are inaccurate, but it takes a while, right?
It does. You have to be patient. Some accounts are easier to remove than others. Some of them, they come off right away. The law allows up to 45 days for them to respond, to a dispute. So they may remove it on that first dispute. Sometimes it takes several rounds, depending on the age of the account, the balance, if it's with the original creditor or collection agency, all those factors come into play. But any account can be removed. Any account. Child support was the biggest account we ever had done.
Put on your credit.
Absolutely.
What?
Do that?
I didn't know that.
Where y'all been?
We're gonna have to,
Wait a
maybe
minute.
touch on that because I had no idea. And
Absolutely.
y'all, please tell these people 'cause it's
Right.
not even just
Listen,
men
y'all
because
might
there's
have
women on child support.
Right.
Let them know. Let them know. Pay your child support.
Absolutely. So it's reported. Child support is reported to the credit report. You can have it removed, but you still got to pay them because they will lock you up.
Yeah.
You can get it off your report, but you still got to pay it.
Because they're gonna lock you up.
Wow.
They will suspend your license and they will
PSA.
continue to they'll lock
Please,
you
I
up.
didn't even expect this PSA, but since we're gonna do it,
Right.
I didn't know that it goes on your credit.
Yeah. I
That's
heard about the lock, the jail and license
Yeah.
and all that, but I did not know.
I
Right
did
on your
not
credit.
know that they go So y'all have bad credit and you're not paying child support? What? I'm sorry because
Doing
that's
bad.
left me stunned.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So when you get a client, right? They're interested in fixing up their credit. When they come to you, do you at that first initial consultation look over everything and say, you really don't need me, you could do this yourself, or you just
No, because that's his job. That's his bread and butter.
I present all options when I look at a
Okay.
credit
Okay.
report. So if it's not bad, if it's something that's, everybody wants to increase their credit score. So there's little things that you can do to improve your credit score that does not necessarily constitute credit repair.
Okay, yeah.
You got a bunch of collections, charge off, repossessions, that's credit repair. Late payments, you might need some credit repair. If you just have a low score because, either you have a thin file, which is when you don't have enough credit, then you just need to add some credit. You just need to know what accounts you can add to build
Be
your
smart
to build
about
your
it,
score.
right? Yeah. Interesting. What we got here?
You're getting good at those buttons.
I'm pressing like a pro. Coming from a background of non-financially stable family, what can you tell people to break the cycle of financial instability?
That's a good one. I mean, it all starts with proper budgeting. You know, so the income has to outweigh the expenses. Most people don't, you know, they don't budget properly. They're living paycheck to paycheck, and they just spend. They just spend. You can't do that. You can't.
Stop
I mean,
spending money.
Almost like
that's the
stop
first thing. You
spending
gotta,
me again.
yeah, you gotta have a budget.
Me again.
Spending money is not bad, but you gotta have the money to spend.
Exactly.
You know?
And not overextend yourself. Okay. What else? What are tips? Like, I don't even know. Do you have kids?
Cinco.
He got Cinco kids.
Cinco.
Hold on. All
That's
these
right.
kids. And he's financially stable, y'all.
Right.
We're doing
It can be
it.
done.
We're making it happen. Absolutely.
So I don't know your full background, but I know I come from a family, immediate family, I should say. Like my mom that didn't budget a damn thing. Like didn't, like did the overspending, did all that.
What's your last name?
And then this guy.
I'm about to say, hold on.
Wait. No, and I almost said it. Right, but then again, it's not my maiden name, so.
I got you. Smooth.
Anyway, and it's not my mama's last name. Because we're going into it.
Right.
Wait.
That's a long story.
But like I had to kind of like really be conscious, and sometimes I made mistakes. So how do you, for your children, right? Like we're trying to learn from you too. Like
So we can
we're
tell
all
our
in here
kids.
like this. How do you change that? How do you break that cycle without just, yes, you can teach them how to budget, but I feel like it's deeper than that.
I mean, that's the basis. Budgeting is the basis. You know, most people overspend. They overextend themselves. You're spending money that you don't have, or you're spending bill money. You know.
Do you talk to your children about money
Nah.
often? No?
They're too young. My oldest I do. He's 17.
Okay, I have a 17-year-old, so
I just added him to my account, so he's going through the process of building his credit. Yeah, this is his first credit.
do you believe in talking to children about either your struggle or your money, or like, in some way, not when they're 5, but 15 is like,
Sure, absolutely. Even when they're 5, they're in the store, they want to buy this, they want to buy that. They have accounts. They have their own, little Greenwise card where they're able to spend. If it's not on there, you
speak about that.
don't
'cause
have
I
it.
wanted to ask you right? 'Cause
Yeah.
do you do that? Greenwise cards?
Mhm.
I
Okay.
was thinking about getting my son one, so he can
Chico
know.
has his own account. Well, they both have accounts, but like to like go for spending, I don't want Noah in a bank account. It's using his bank account.
Yeah.
Like so,
give them a little, allowance on that Greenwise
and
card.
then it's like a prepaid kind of thing. Okay, so do that and teach them how to use their own money on a card, because I think cash money, my kids, I'll be honest, I don't feel like they respect it as much as swiping the card. They'll spend all their money, like money, cash. But I feel like when my oldest is really like, oh, how much that cost? So it's like maybe that's the mindset, because
Yeah.
I think they don't respect money. Is it weird?
The good thing about using the card versus the money, a card is going to give you benefits. If it's a credit card, you got plenty of rewards cards where there's cash back, there's travel, free hotels, there's all kind of stuff. When you spend cash, you just spent your cash. It's gone.
Exactly.
It's gone.
You know?
It's gone.
Yeah. My money speech with my kids is I'm broke. I'm broke. Broke. Money don't grow on trees. I'm broke.
That's right.
I feel like I have to change that, because that's me. Like not I always say I'm broke when I'm not broke, but like so they understand like, oh, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But now they're getting older, so I feel like I really want to like have a conversation.
Yeah.
This like it took me this long to make this amount or whatever, and I'm just like, oh, is it? But I also want them to really start the budgeting aspect. I feel like maybe I haven't been so good on. So I'm trying to change these cycles, because we are not broke,
Right.
We are not
I
broke.
want my kids to think I'm broke. They think
No,
I'm
of
rich,
course.
and I don't know where
Oh,
they
but
think
I
that.
think
Don't tell them that. Just tell them
All
no.
kids
No.
think you're. All kids think you're rich
No.
because they don't know.
Right.
You say no? No,
Yeah.
they don't need to know a reason why.
No.
You don't wanna
Just tell
get
them
the
no.
money. I said no money.
That's
No,
it.
No money.
That's
no
it.
money.
That's it.
All
Easy.
right.
Easy.
I think my oldest understands money now because he has a job.
Oh yeah,
So
that'll.
because as soon as he got his first check, he was so mad. He's like, "Why are they taking taxes out of my money?" I'm like, "Who is this?
Who is this
these
taking my
tax-
money?
right,
For
Why are
real.
they taking? And why are they taking this much?" So he understands this now, and he's like, he called off for a week, and his check was like maybe $100. He was like, "I'm sick." I said, "Yeah, you gotta go to work."
Gotta go. You don't miss that money till payday.
Right.
Like, we've been sick before, and
Yeah.
I had to take my butt to
You
work.
gotta
you
go.
know? Yeah, I think that's important. All
them
right,
bills.
let's see. Let's see. What's this one? What words of wisdom or advice do you have for the viewers on how to start over?
Start over.
Dang,
question.
starting
Okay,
over.
who came up with that one?
Start over.
Okay.
I be dabbling.
You mean when you say start over, you mean hit the reset button on the credit?
Yeah, I come into
Yeah.
you and I got a 5, and I'm like, listen,
I done went through a divorce.
I gotta start over.
I
I got
done,
4
repo.
bankruptcies on here.
4 bankruptcies. Jesus.
Um,
Are you?
I mean
Trying
to hit
start
the
over. Stop
to hit
judging
the
me.
reset button, there's a couple of ways to do it. So when you're talking about debt, you could go file bankruptcy if it's that bad, which I've never recommended in 13 years. You can do debt settlement. You owe $5,000. You call them. Hey, I got 2. Will you take it? Sure. You can do that. Or credit repair. You can clean anything off your credit. Anything can go. It just takes time. It takes time. People got to be patient.
Right. So how does credit repair work? Like, I come to you,
what I was gonna
right,
say.
and I'm
I was
like,
like, what is that?
fix it.
technically?
Okay. So
Help.
fix it.
when I talk to a client, credit repair is always the same. You know, the scenario is different as far as like how the credit got how it is. And the stories are very entertaining. But I mean, at the end of the day, I listen out of courtesy. But
Now you listen because you're like, damn.
Man,
No, I've heard everything. There's like nothing else. I don't know.
Okay.
There's nothing else to say. But when it comes to credit repair, there's 3 moving parts, right? Removing as many derogatory items as possible. And that takes somebody to look at your credit, because if you just arbitrarily remove negative stuff, it could have a negative impact on your credit.
How is that?
Okay.
Just for people that don't know.
Give
like
you an
me.
example.
Like me.
I had a client, this was years ago, probably about 10 years, is where I learned it. He had a repossession on his credit. Got the repossession off, his credit score dropped. 100 points.
Wait,
100 points.
why?
Okay, so even though that account was in a derogatory status, it's in a repossession, it still had positive credit before it got there.
And the
So they're looking at the
history.
history, yes. The history is very important. 35% of the score is history.
Wow.
Payment history, payment history, payment history. You miss one payment, it will kill your score. Period. You can have an 800. You miss one payment, you'll have a 650
Dang.
overnight. One payment. The better your credit, you miss a point, the more points they'll take away from you.
That's crazy. What the heck?
That's the system.
But
That's how it's built.
so like anything else you can play. You got to play. It's kind of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind of mad about that. So you could work your whole life. I know plenty of people with 800s. I know people. I am not one of those people.
Not yet.
No,
Right, it's
exactly.
coming, it's
Not that
coming.
it's. I don't have
Not
terrible
yet.
credit or anything. But I'm just saying, like, I don't have an 800.
You're not
Guys,
in the
judge me
club
later.
yet.
Judge me later. But work so hard to be perfect. Let's say you get sick 1 month where you just have a moment, like something happens, and you mean to tell me that
Okay, so here's what you can
I'm
do.
gonna need you to elaborate? I'm mad at
It will.
mad at the system.
What I said stands. If you
Yeah.
miss a payment, it will kill your score. Period.
Okay.
Now, in order to combat that, what you can do is you can reach out to the creditor. Every creditor does it. Every creditor. You call them, say, hey, I'm missing hours at work. kids sick, whatever the case may be. If you can show them a financial hardship, they have programs where they can move your payment 30, 60, 90 days where you don't have to make a payment. And when you look at your credit report, it'll just show neutral instead of a missed payment.
Interesting. I didn't even know that.
Just got to call them. Most people they won't call them. It has to be late 30 days before they can report it to the credit bureau. But anytime before that, you can call them and say, hey, whatever's going on.
Right.
And
I
that's
think
it.
they have programs, right, where you sign up for a card. I've seen them sometimes where it says pay like an extra whatever just in case anything happens. It, like, isn't
Right.
some kind of insurance.
Yep. All of them have it.
So do you suggest whenever you do get a new card to pay for that insurance? Is that something, do you think it's worth it?
When you talk about insurance, it's like, you have it just in case you need it. Sometimes you use it, sometimes you don't. So,
Yeah. So why is it bankruptcy so, like, frowned upon?
I mean, that's you racking up a whole bunch of debt and then going and say, hey, I can't afford it. So they frown upon that big time,
Does that fall off your credit or no? Like, it stays on for...
Depending on which one you file, Chapter 7 or 13, they have, they'll stay on there for up to 10 years.
Oh, wow.
10 years.
It's a long time.
Explain the difference, because I don't know that. I don't know any of this. So explain the difference between Chapter 13 and 7. What?
I believe Chapter 7 will allow you to restructure your payments. Chapter 13 kind of gets rid of everything.
It's like you clean slate, but not really, because you're starting from zero.
Well, the items are still there. They're still on your credit report. They're not, they're still visible. So if somebody pull your credit and see that you're, filed bankruptcy until it's discharged and, resolved.
So you're just not paying these creditors is what that is. So it kills your credit. I know that. It kills everything. You can't get crap. Like, girl, good
For
luck.
that whole 10 years, like, you just can't get nothing?
Good luck. Not on credit.
I mean, you
Tell
can,
the truth,
you can
let's
get
keep it
some
real.
stuff, but it's not going to be nothing you want.
It's
You
not
know?
good. Yeah.
You get a credit card for $250 or $500,
Man, oh, God.
nothing that you can do anything with.
Like, what you gonna do with $250?
Yeah,
That's a snack for me.
exactly. That's my light bill.
I'm hungry. I'm hungry a lot. I'm just saying,
my
like,
God.
I can't. And then, so Chapter 7 is where it kind of like they work with you. So it's almost like reconfiguring your payments, maybe lowering stuff, and then Chapter 13 is like, bye. You done lost your whole life, and you're not.
Bankruptcy is the reset
hungry.
button.
Okay.
But that's, if you're really, really bad off.
Yeah.
Like you have, I don't know, 100,000 in credit card debt or something.
Oh, God. Jesus.
That's,
$100,000 in credit card debt.
you would be
A lot?
surprised.
Right.
Is it a common thing?
Oh, yeah.
100,000. Like, I can't.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do this. Look at me.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm just a spokesperson. Just don't do it.
do
Like,
it.
don't
Say
do it.
no.
$100,000.
But it's about, you have to manage it. Debt is not bad. You just have to know how to manage it.
Right.
Some people have $100,000, credit lines, but they're not using it. So when the banks look at it, they're looking at, your borrowing capacity. So the more available credit you have, the more likely they are to give you whatever you're asking
Like
for.
that.
Whatever
Yeah.
you
That
ask.
black
Whatever
card
you
where
ask.
you
for.
have,
If
like,
you
an
need money,
unlimited.
the bank is not the place to
I don't
go.
want nothing unlimited in my
Man,
no.
that black
Unless
card.
unless you're
Buy a
feeding
house
me
with that.
unlimited, I don't want nothing unlimited. No card. No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They
Yeah.
don't just
Nobody-
give
Income
it.
requirement.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Even hold that card.
Yeah.
You have to have money.
You got to get invited to
Mm-hmm.
apply to that card. Yeah.
You gotta get invited to.
You
They
do.
invited me out for nothing then, apparently. No. I honestly have been very careful about, probably too careful, because like I said, I just started really, like I hate like a credit card. It takes a lot for me to swipe it.
It's better than cash. It's better than your debit card.
No, that's what I keep
Yes.
hearing, and I'm like,
It is.
I'm like, no, I
It
got money,
is.
and then I just give money.
Use
but-
the credit. If you have a credit card, right? You put all your bills on the cards. Everything you pay with the card. At the end of the month, you use your cash to pay your credit. Now you've built credit.
scares me.
You know,
No, you know, I
you
think
just have to be responsible.
Yeah.
It's all about
I'm pretty
responsible.
good,
If you
but
don't
I
have the
do
money
fear
to
that.
buy it,
Scares me.
then you don't put it on a credit card. That's it.
You're at a good
It's a
age.
mindset.
where
You
know
gotta-
responsibility.
She's like, be a good.
You got this.
I'm very responsible. What I fear is like, I think I always feel like being bad with money is hereditary, or like, no, I really. This sounds crazy, I know, but like it's like a cycle. So I always fear of being in a position where I'm not able to. I'm always fearful of that.
Yeah.
But you done told me to
That should
spend
keep you,
all my
you know,
money.
that keeps you cautious, but
Overly cautious
you
sometimes.
should still make sure you have enough healthy accounts open.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't have to use them all. You just want to have access to it. That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
You
All
want-
right.
The more you have access to, the more the banks will give you.
So you do real estate also. How important is the credit?
I just told you I went to buy
I
my-
want to go buy a house and I got a 5. Like,
You ain't buying no house.
If you're not buying a stick of gum with a 5. What are you
Nothing.
talking about?
I got a
Nothing.
5 here. We can work
I
with
got a
it.
5.
I got a good job.
So when it comes to purchasing a home, they look at 3 things: capacity, which is how much you can afford. They look at your down payment, and then they look at your credit. Those 3 things.
Yeah. Debt to income ratio too, right? But that's all kind of what. Yeah.
That's it. When they pull your credit, they're gonna see you owe $5,000 in bills. You make $10,000, so you only got $5,000 to spend.
And you really don't have 5,000 because of like a house. Yeah.
Right. There's
Buy
a
my
lot of
friend's
expenses
houses.
that they don't take in consideration when you're buying a house. So they're looking at just what's on your credit report. So your insurance payment, you know, any loans that you pay, things that are not reported there, they don't take in consideration.
No. And sometimes that's good. Sometimes it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depends.
It's all about what you can afford. The bank is going to approve you for one thing, but you got to know what you can afford.
So yeah, what I learned, well, the second time I bought my second home, is what I learned is like that. Because you're like, oh yeah, they approved me for all this money, yay! But you still don't want to go for the big, you know,
Yeah.
because the mortgage payments and things like that are ridiculous, and
Yeah.
the interest. But people don't explain these things too. Like I want my kids to know
Right.
more about this than I even did. I had to learn by finding out the hard way.
Trial and error.
Trial,
Yeah.
a lot of trial and error.
That's my
Multiple
story too.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what got me in the business. Like my credit was trash.
Oh,
You know,
we didn't even
Right,
expect
right.
this. Tell
It
us a
was
little bit
trash.
about
Like, so
how'd you
did your
start
parents
doing
teach
this?
you?
Yeah,
my
yeah,
parents
yeah.
didn't teach me anything about credit.
What
and
is it with that?
nothing?
I gotta
Just
say
hard
this.
work.
I
Go to
think
work.
our parents,
My dad said, "You don't work,
It's
you
like
don't eat."
back in the day, like it was not something. It was just like we went to work, like they went to work, and nothing was explained. You don't
Mm-hmm.
ask questions; they just do what they do, and I don't want that for
Yeah.
my kids to
Right.
like know that. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was like
Education.
you don't ask no questions about their money.
Yeah.
It's their money, you know. But it
Yeah.
wasn't really about
Right.
that. We didn't
My
talk about
parents
money
didn't
in
talk about
general.
money. Yeah,
I just saw
them
suffering.
like go to work and that's it.
That's it.
I just saw I saw a lot of like, oh my God, move things around. Oh, we're not gonna pay this. I heard a lot about that amongst them, but I didn't realize really what it was until I was older. I'm like, dang, we struggling. We struggling.
Right.
I might gotta go to work at 14, 15,
Right.
which I
Do I
did,
need to take over the light bill?
and I did. That's what I learned.
I think we all paid a bill in the house.
That's money.
Was it your name, right?
Oh, you too. Huh?
So So I want to know a little bit more then about that. Like,
What got you?
what got
into
you
this?
here?
Like I said, my credit was trash. So the first thing I did, I signed up with Lexington Law Firm. I think everybody knows them.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest credit repair company out there. But I wasn't happy with the results, you know? And I learned their system. I seen one of the letters they sent out one time, and it was so generic. It was so generic. And I was like, I paid y'all this money for this?
Basic ass.
So it was a challenge. So that's where, when I started, taking an interest in credit, because I think growing up, it's not taught. It's not taught in school. It's not taught in the homes. You got to like go out and find it on your own. That's normally how it is. So we have the challenge of educating the kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Start them off, I don't know, however young, but you graduate the conversations with them as they get older to make sure that they're prepared. Because if they're not, they're gonna be leaning on you.
I've
you know,
seen it.
they need you to co-sign from apartments to cars to everything.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for that. None.
I want my daddy to co-sign right now.
We just go. She down.
And that's the number one thing I tell people not to do. Don't co-sign for anybody. Doesn't matter who it
I
is.
was like, you don't want to do
Because,
this.
I mean, I've never co-signed for anyone, but I've seen the damage. Like
Yeah.
my older brother did that for 2 people, and let's just say,
They're looking for him, I'm sure.
let's just say, like one time he was at work, and they were looking for him, and he didn't even know. Like he does, he just
Yeah.
co-signed. You can't blindly co-sign either. Like it got to be someone like, if you're going to do it. I'm not giving advice, but I'm just saying, like,
He's like, no.
Don't do it.
don't sign
do
for
it.
Don't do
someone
it.
you barely like speak to,
Right.
Because you will get yourself in
Yeah.
trouble.
I think my first car, my mom co-signed with me so I can get a better rate, and she was on me. You paid your car payment? Yes, I did.
But that's the lady that gave birth to
Yes.
you. Like you gonna be in.
But then when I got my
touch. Like, she's
second
gonna
car, I was
wait.
like, yeah, I got this. Don't ask me to. Okay, I won't. I got it. Don't worry
Nobody
about it. I got
co-sign.
it.
Say it loud. Say it in the
You
like.
should not.
No
Do not
co-signing.
co-sign for
co-sign.
anybody.
No, don't co-sign.
Mom, dad,
Hope my
cousin,
kids hear this. Don't ask me to co-sign for y'all.
but none of them.
I see grown adults. I work in the medical field, but I see grown ass adults. Like, hold on. I gotta get my mom. And I'm like, you're 50. Like, what? So I get that. So I just want to set my babies up so they're not,
Right.
well, they're not going to be that, because I'm not doing it. But just because I don't want them to even want to ask. I
Yeah.
want them to know better and do better than even I did. But
I
we
might need my
definitely-
son to co-sign for me.
I can't stand her. She talking, guys. She's not this bad.
Wow.
She's not. Maybe you
We
need
need
to
we
talk
need a-
after this.
Right.
Like,
a
maybe
house.
y'all
Do your
should
credit
to-
first.
We need
Maybe
a house,
y'all should
KJ.
get.
I need you to sign
need a
for me.
Don't call him by his name when you call him out about his
I need him to be
money.
watching this.
KJ,
You gotta get us out the hood, KJ.
Oh man.
I can't stand her in the hood. If she even lived in a hood, like, she don't know. She don't know the struggle. Like,
No, it's good. I be trying to teach him now certain things, and he asks me certain questions, and our friends are telling him, yeah, well, you can go get a secure card, and instead of putting $200 in the savings, go put it on the card and start trying to build your credit. So he's trying to do different things, and I'm trying to let him. He's like, I'm gonna go
Okay.
buy a cell phone. So he tried to do that and get his own line, but he doesn't have any credit. So he's like, I gotta get credit. I was like, yeah, you do. You gotta get something.
It's not hard to build.
Yeah, but I didn't know about the adding to cards, so
Yep.
I added
That-
Chico last year.
That program, as far as being added as an authorized user, is something that credit card companies started like way back in the day, and that was the purpose for you to be able to help your children build their credit.
no matter what age they are.
Right.
You hear
Right.
that, Daddy? You
Now
can add me
it's-
to your cards.
You can add anybody
At
to your
this
card.
point- That's like co-signing at this point for you.
He loves me.
But that's safer.
Face is classic. He's like,
Adding somebody as an authorized user is
That's
safer.
safer.
It's much safer because you're still if you're the primary card,
responsible for you.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
If I miss a payment, then yeah,
Then it
it's
screws
gonna
you.
mess your credit up too.
No, I don't like missing payments, so I don't. But
Yeah.
on that one, I pay early and everything. I feel like because I feel like I'm gonna affect him too
Right.
now. And you can always take him off, but I don't want
Sure.
to. I
Is
just
there
want
a
to keep him on
healthy
there.
amount of credit cards that you should have? Like, is there a certain number not to go?
No, there's no limit as far as how many. It's more so about the balances that you're carrying on those
usage.
cards. Yeah,
That
that's what they're looking at.
30%, right? There's a thing under 30% usage.
30% is too high.
Yeah.
It's too high. So there's 5 categories that they're looking at when it comes to credit, right? The first one is your payment history. Well, let's back up. The biggest score you can have is an 850. The score doesn't go at 5. It starts at 350. 350 is the lowest.
It was
Up
a
to
video.
850. Up to 850. So there's 500 points that you can get between the 5 categories that they judge you on. Each category has a certain amount of points that you can get. So 35% for payment history. So out of that 500, multiply it times 35, tells you how many available points for that category. If you miss a payment inside that category, you got trash credit.
Dang.
Automatic. One
Don't
late
miss them
payment.
payments. Don't miss them payments, guys.
One late payment. And what I always recommend my clients to do is set up auto pay. Auto pay. Everything you have is on auto pay. You can't miss nothing.
I hate it.
I want
Set up
control
auto
of this
pay,
thing.
make sure the money's there. And then there's 2 dates.
know why I
Since we're
hate
talking about, the credit cards and making the payments on time, there's 2 dates on the credit card statement that you want to pay attention to. One is your statement closing date, and the second is your due date. Your due date, if you pay your bill by the due date, then that's the balance. Whatever balance was on there, that's what they're going to report that month. You pay your balance on your statement date. By your statement date.
Interesting.
That way, when they report for the month of January, you get credit for that payment. If not, you're looking at February before it'll make a difference. Assuming nothing else changes.
So, like, if your statement day is the 15th, but your payment date is the 30th,
Mm-hmm.
pay that on the 15th.
Right.
I never knew that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm over here.
Right, I'm gonna start making that on the statement date.
There's so much you can do to add points to your credit. Like,
That's crazy because that's like so minimal. Like, who can't pay a $30 bill on whatever?
Right.
The,
I'd
you know
rather
what I'm
do
saying?
that than the auto pay because I hate
no,
waking
you
up
still
in
got to
the
do
morning.
auto pay.
I hate waking up
And
to
the
no
money
money.
be gone. Like,
You cannot
told you
get
to take
around
this?
auto pay. Put it on auto pay.
Auto pay.
I authorize
That's the
this?
cheat code.
I honestly never pay. Oh no, I'm lying. I do have certain things on auto pay because I really don't want to mess them up. But I never forget. Like I'm like, this thing is due on the 11th.
No, I forget too, and I'll be like
No.
calling, "Hey y'all, I'm sorry, I'm late,
Oopsie.
but
But if it's not
if
30 days,
right,
then
if
it's
it's
Yeah.
less than
affecting
30,
you.
And they're really good.
They'll
though
charge
when
you a late
call them.
fee.
Sometimes they'll just, if it's like not all the time, they'll kind of just waive like whatever.
they'll work with you. Your creditors will work with you if you call them.
Statement date.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pay
And
the
I
bill
make
by
sure
the
to lock-
statement
lock
date.
that card so
Statement
y'all
date.
don't take it.
She's so
That's
stupid.
it.
I can't stand her. She's so ridiculous.
Lock it.
They gonna think that you ain't got no money.
They do.
That you live in a car.
And I'm in the hood. Yep.
And not even in the hood, in a car at this point.
With my
Right.
with my pillows. That's the only thing that's on auto pay is that car payment. That's
I
it.
can't- in case this is
Just
her
in
mobile
case.
home if she
Yeah.
needs one.
Right. The seats lay down. We're good.
What?
You need a van for all that.
I know, like, wait, she got a fan. There's 2 extra boys, you know.
And
you gonna
I
put
got the little heater on there. It's cold out here. The seats heat up. We're good in that car.
Is that
That's
so?
too funny. Too funny.
as we're supposed to be inspired, and she's setting us up for
I'm
the
inspiring
bare
people
minimum.
that live in their car.
Like,
It's
it's good for the environment. No, it's not. What is it? What you aspiring to be
that they can make it.
in the car?
It's a norm. It's all right.
What's
It's the norm.
to live in the car?
It's all right. 2024 out here. Rent is expensive.
While we're talking about the dates,
Please.
you can change your date, your due date, if you just call your creditor and ask them
I
to
would
move
just-
it.
Now I'm gonna start changing it to the date that is my statement date, just so
Well,
it just.
There's two
No.
two different. I mean, you can change your due date. So, say, if you're getting paid on the 1st of the month and your bill's due on the 30th, you can adjust some things.
Okay. I've never changed a due date on anything. Like I'm like, oh, it's due that day, and never think to, Ah.
Yeah, they'll change it.
But if you adjust your due date, does your statement change?
Yeah.
So it's always going to change. That's
Yeah.
always going to change
Yeah.
based on your due date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Whatever statement
right.
date, pay it by that statement
Okay,
date.
let's go. We always ask of our guests to give us a little motivation. We are inspired. How
Am I supposed to sing?
right?
Want me to dance?
We are
What's going on?
inspired.
You want me to sing
Um,
here?
What is something you heard or read that motivates you until this day?
Hmm.
Boop, 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 boop.
Heard or read that
Or
motivates me.
Quote
someone
or
told
something.
you, you know,
Let me think on that one.
that stuck with you.
Could be anything.
Right.
Think about it. It could have been like, get your shit together. You know, something
I mean-
that, you know. that really actually made you get your shit together, you know?
I don't know if I heard anything. Like, just life made me get my shit together.
So what's,
you know,
what's like a
normal.
situation that you went through
Let's see.
that put you in this path or in the better position?
I mean, it started off with my shitty credit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Shitty
what,
credit,
you know,
I get it.
that was about
but
10 years ago when I started that. Well, no, it's longer than that. A lot longer. Wow, I'm
Getting
that old.
old.
I'm older than I'd like to say, but yeah,
Probably not older than I am.
sure. I bet you I am.
Probably not. I'm sad.
I got a
No,
$10 bet says I am.
I'm gonna win $10, y'all.
Yeah,
My
okay.
credit.
Okay.
for my payment.
For my car payment. I don't have one actually. My car's is paid off, but I need a new car. We'll talk later.
Okay.
But
Man.
not with these rates. I don't.
Oh, they're ridiculous.
But something that like I could tell you a moment that changed my life. Whatever. So what was something that just kind of like
Changed my
got
life.
you better, made you better?
I don't know if I was that bad. You know, like I don't know. I mean, I
feel
listen to a
great
lot of
about myself.
motivational stuff, but I don't know.
What's something you like to say?
Is it something?
Anything
go-to?
that's financially related, you know, whether it's invested in stocks or you know, things that would propel you, you know, financially. Anything financial, education, I'm all for.
Was there a point where you were wanting to do something, buy something, and you couldn't because of like, like me that have a 5?
Sure. Sure. I've been denied, you know, of course, you know.
Like something like you need it, like, oh my God, I really need this car.
I'm sure I went to finance a car and they said no.
So now you gotta go to drive time.
Did they laugh at you?
No, they have
Oh.
a little bit more respect.
That was my first car experience at drive time.
That was my first bad credit.
Man, I
Drive
was
time.
like,
Yeah.
First bad credit. I guess
I had no credit and I was in drive time. Like,
my first car was not through a dealership. My first car, I'm going to say this story. It was driving up to up north and picking up a car at an auction type of
Okay.
thing.
That's
And I
nothing
paid,
wrong
like-
with that.
No, and the car worked, and then I sold it for double what I paid for. So we
Boom.
good, you know.
Yeah.
I built something, but yeah, I was scared of using credit at all back then. Now I'm not. Now I'm like,
Yeah, you have to.
please help me. No,
right,
You have
I
to.
need it. I need it.
but no, it's very necessary. It's like, what? Any final thoughts?
Everything
Anything
starts
else?
with credit. Everything. You know,
You
so
think it's money, but it's not.
no. Credit is your capital.
Say
Credit
it
is
louder.
capital.
Say it
I
louder.
just heard something the other day that said, no, it doesn't matter what your credit looks like as long as you have money.
But that's not true.
No.
Cause no.
No, because you either paying all cash for whatever you're buying, from houses to cars to whatever, or you have credit.
Right.
That's what they're basing everything off of. You have credit. Good credit.
Gotta be good.
Yeah, give me a 5.
You're gonna be like me living in your car if you got 5.
Oh my god. This is so motivational. Like,
Oh, man. Oh, wow.
I'm like, this is the direction we were going.
Guys, I'm gonna get with Mike after the show. and
No,
I'm
I'm serious. Listen, you got me thinking differently about a lot of things, but share your how
like, how people
are
can find you, like
Yeah,
me.
how-
Instagram.
everything. Share all your whatevers. What's
So, my Instagram is Mike the Manager, Mike DA Manager, ghetto, of course. But
he's like,
I love
he
it.
started from the bottom.
I love it, you know. But that's where I manage all of my businesses are through that profile, Mike the Manager.
Mike the Manager, are you on Facebook? Do you have a website?
No Facebook. Websites, yes, creditdepotorlando.com.
Okay.
All right. And your office is in.
We have 3 offices
Okay.
around Orlando.
Okay.
Do you need a receptionist?
Starting from the bottom. I'm just saying, like, she might need to. Can't.
Are y'all hiring?
She wants to work at a credit place just so she could feel like she got good credit. Is that what it is?
Exactly.
Yeah, because if you're working there,
That's
you're,
gonna motivate her.
Trying to get out the car. And get to,
I'm just saying.
so
So 3
Kate.
offices. Find him, and he has like good. Even on IG, because I started following you. No, I'm just kidding.
Started following
He had like just little. You throw
Tips
out
and
tips
videos.
and stuff,
Yeah.
and he's funny. So if you like money and funny,
Right.
like I do, like
Good combination.
It's a win-win right there. Do you have any TikToks or anything?
I do. I do have TikTok. I couldn't tell you what my name is though. I don't really use it. I don't use that or Facebook. I hate both platforms.
Oh gosh, TikTok's where it's at.
Instagram is the
TikTok right now.
best.
I'm so terrible at TikToking, but I guess I'll follow you on there too.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
I like Facebook.
Oh, I hate
I
Facebook.
love it.
No, but look, I use Facebook to run my website.
Okay.
Interesting.
So you're marketing through.
Well, yeah, because you Facebook can be an immediate link, so you can dial into a response right away.
Now we're talking
Okay.
about
As opposed to like
Marketing.
going directly to my website, sometimes it can take up to like 8 hours, right, to see it.
that's
Oh.
Oh
wild.
wow.
But Facebook is like because it's tied to Messenger.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So like it got to the point it was like my Facebook is easier to access and better to communicate with my.
It is. In that
Yeah.
aspect, it
It
is.
kind of weeded out my website.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Interesting.
good.
So I got this really.
And they pay you too on Facebook.
And they pay you.
They do.
Mhm.
Get your money. Get your money, guys.
Make them reels. They be paying.
All
you.
right. Well, it's been real, Mr. Mike Duh, manager.
I appreciate you guys having me. You know.
I appreciate it. And what's your handle, girl? Where
I
we at?
am Nikki Fitness _14.
I am Aspire J, and we're the
Aspire Podcast. Make sure you guys are following us. It's the new year. We got some good things coming.
Yes, follow. Go subscribe to. Like how we got 300 views on something but not 300 subscribers. Let's go. I'm getting tough this year. We're gonna be
Right.
about those numbers.
About those
he said be
numbers.
about those numbers.
Right.
So
Get
I'm
it.
about them.
That's
Okay.
right.
We have.
We love you
Spotify
guys.
too. Don't forget.
Yes, Spotify. I'm recording as we speak. Go watch, subscribe, please.
Listen, all of it.
All of that. And we'll be back next week.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye, neighbors.
Bye.
Awesome.
Put it back on the logo.